Hey Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI. Yahawah being the Heavenly Father's true name in the ancient Hebrew, and YAHAWASHI being the name of His only begotten Son, the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And peace and grace be upon the house of David, Dabayath Dawadah, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are chosen to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. And peace, salutations, and blessings to the men that's pushing the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in all sincerity and in all truth. All right, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, double honors to the elders and apostles, and to the men that's pushing the correct doctrine of Yahweh Shai, and to the men, women, and children that's keeping the faith and staying in the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kodash, to the best of their ability, day in and day out. All right, I just came across this article from Press TV, and I just wanted to play it, man, because towards the end, I'm gonna play the whole thing because the whole thing's pretty good. But towards the end, this guy, he was basically talking about how people are waking up to America's basically their BS. All right, they're waking up to how America is doing all these false flags and trying to make a blame just so that they can go into a country and bomb it so that they could set up their puppet government, so on and so forth. But he was saying that he believes that the American people are starting to realize the propaganda, that the BS propaganda that the American government has been pushing ever since 2001. All right, so-called 9/11 terrorist attack. All right, but it's just going to show you, because he basically said, which I'm gonna play it, but he basically said that he thinks there's going to be a civil war or a revolutionary war in America, which there is going to be. All right, there's going to be a civil war, a race war, okay, class war. America is going to be completely, just chaotic, man. All right, the judgment that the Lord has for America is, Scripture says, is going to be like a time that has never been, really, on the whole entire earth. But Babylon the Great, daughter of Babylon, is the main focal point of the Lord's judgment. That's why this place is going to get completely destroyed. Okay, but I'm gonna play this clip, and then I'm gonna get a couple scriptures, to back up basically what this guy is saying, man, which is all through the Spirit.
Hello and welcome live from Tehran. You've tuned to Press TV's World News. I'm Marcia Hashimi. Thanks so much for being with us. Still reactions about the situation took place in Syria yesterday, where Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has described Saturday's missile strikes on Syria as an aggressive act aimed at raising the morale of defeated terrorists in the country. During a telephone conversation with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, Rouhani noted that the U.S.-led attacks on Syria showed that Washington has direct ties with the terrorists in Syria. He said that when the U.S. felt that the terrorists are losing a strategic region like eastern Ghouta, it reacted by conducting missile strikes on Syria. The Iranian president noted that the U.S., France, and Britain do not want stability in Syria. Putin said for his part that further missile attacks would lead to chaos in international relations. The two presidents agreed that the missile strikes have damaged the prospect of a political resolution to the conflict in the Arab country. Let's cross over to San Francisco, joined by Scott Bennett, former U.S. Army Psychological Warfare Officer. Thanks so much for being with us, Scott. Give me your analysis of the reason why the U.S. and its allies struck Syria yesterday. We know Iran's President Hassan Rouhani is saying it's because the U.S. is working hand in hand with the terrorists, and the terrorists were losing and continue to lose eastern Ghouta.
Well, the ultimate decision legally comes down to the President of the United States because he's Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military. So he's either done this completely on his own with, full trust and confidence in the advisors that are around him, or he's done it out of ignorance and stupidity and because of the bad intelligence that bad people have given him. I'd like to think the latter is true. I'd like to think he's smart enough to back his way out, but the bottom line is, and the legal reality is, he has done a missile strike, which really is in violation of international law, based on a fabricated event that never happened. There was no chemical attack. The physical evidence proves that. The lack of bodies prove that. The very suspicious attack coming just before the inspectors arrived to gather soil samples and body tissue to determine if there was any chemical attack. The fact the missiles were fired before that happened to disrupt that process is all indicative of a criminal cover-up. And, of course, Donald Trump is surrounded by criminals. He's surrounded by liars. He's surrounded by warmongering, violent people like Nikki Haley, John Bolton, and others that really may cost the president the next election, because the American people really despise those people who are pushing us to war. They don't have to put on a uniform like I did. They don't have to see their children go to war and die and come back crippled. They just sit behind the iron white chairs of Washington and dictate war policy. So this is a sad day, I think, for Americans. It's a sad day for President Trump if he doesn't wake up. And I think it can be rectified. And I think President Rouhani is absolutely right. And President Putin is absolutely right. And they're also the only forces for stability in that region. And they need to engage really on a very positive public relations campaign. They need to be proactively countering all of these military, economic, and diplomatic moves that the U.S. is foolishly putting out, and announce it to the world and say, the moment they smell another trap like this, another chemical attack accusation, as they did in London, which was another false flag event, they need to say, aha, let us inform you at the United Nations what's going to happen now. They've made accusations. Next, they're going to have fake attacks, and then they're going to launch strikes or missile strikes or plane strikes to cover it up. So be advised, this is the U.S. policy. And they've done it in Libya. They've done it in Iraq. They're doing it in Syria. But there is hope, and it has to be in the public relations information campaign level. They have to wage a very positive campaign of stability, prosperity, and peace, so that the world sees Russia and Iran as the purveyors of that, and not the boogeymen that the American media and propaganda machine is desperately trying to prove. I listened to most of the American media on the strikes, and no one could provide an answer for why in the world would Syrian President Bashar do this. No one could answer it, because they know there's no reason in the world why he would do this. And every American and a lot of people in the media are waking up and saying this smells like a false flag event. And I think people are close to a revolution in this country, a civil war, because they can smell that they were lied to back in 2001, and they feel and see the same things happening now. And I don't think the American people are going to allow that. And Trump better wake up to that reality, or he's going to be a one-term president.
Okay, well, we're keeping our eyes on the United States, I guess, to see actually if the American people really wake up and are able to put pressure on its government. Thanks so much for being with us, Scott Bennett, out of San Francisco.
Yeah, man. So, hey, people all across the world see that these Americans, these Babylonians, are asleep, man. Just a bunch of zombies that just believe anything that they see on, the mainstream media, although it's been constantly proven time and time again that this government, straight up lies and covers up its wickedness. Just do things without protocol. Just breaks international law over and over. But the thing is, man, that these devils, okay, these elites, they're going to probably, what they're going to do is push America to the government to do what? To have a false flag happen here in the United States, and then they're going to blame it on, Russia or Iran or, one of the quote unquote boogeymen. And that right there is going to cause, the stock market to collapse. And it's going to be all out chaos, man. It's going to be a lot of chaos in these streets. And the American people are going to end up rioting way more than what the government was anticipating. That's when they're gonna have martial law. It's gonna be like the purge, man. But every day, not just for 12 hours. It's gonna be like that, but every day, man. Okay, because hey, these people in America, they're already, the morale in America is already being destabilized, man. The camaraderie, the so quote unquote a love for your neighbor, your American citizen, that's out the window, man. You know, there was just a article out that well, even though he was an Israelite, but this Israelite, he 14-year-old, he missed his bus and he knocked on one of his one of the neighbors or was somebody in the area. He knocked on their door and was asking them for if they knew directions to the school, and the person was about to shoot him, man. Person was about to shoot a 14-year-old kid for knocking on his door. But that's just the spirit that's in America. All right. This is Isaiah 19 verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahawah rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right. And this is talking about spiritually, it's talking about here in America, because when you go to Revelations, the 11th chapter, it says what? This place is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay, verse 2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So once again, that's talking about Babylon, America. The Americans are going to be against each other, man. And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. All right. And I will destroy the counsel thereof. And that's what's going to happen. That's why there's going to be a civil war, man. Okay, the people are going to rouse up, for lack of food, lack of, lack of trust in the government. Okay, it says he will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Okay, so the point is, man, the spirit of Egypt is crumbling. Okay, the spirit in America is crumbling, and the trust in the American government is crumbling more and more. Okay, hey, and that's why also this devil, how does he do it? Order out of chaos. All right, he's going to create this chaos, but it's going to get to a point where it's going to be escalated, to a heightened level. And then that's when he's going to bring in the martial law, and that's what that's going to come, the RFID chip and all these things that this devil is going to use to try to retake over the minds of the people, which you're going to have a lot of people that's going to succumb to that. But during that time, it's going to be very chaotic, man. All right, it's Second Ezra chapter 2 verse 14. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. All right, that's civil war, class war, race wars. All right, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. What is that right there, man? That's what? Revolution, man. And like that guy was saying, they're gonna, the people are gonna smell and see that this is just a whole bunch of, falsehoods that the American government is doing, and he thinks that this is gonna end up to what? A civil war. Okay, and there's going to be people fighting against, and look, ever since Trump came into office, man, how many different rallies and protesters they was doing against Trump? Okay, not my president, all these things, man. Since the time I've been alive, I've never seen so much disdain for a president from the actual American people, man. Okay, but what? It says they should not regard their kings nor princes. So they're not going to care about their congressmen and their mayors and their presidents, their ambassadors, and none of that. Okay? And that's why, like I said before, these elites, they know that all this is going to happen. They're trying to orchestrate it, but it's really through the spirit. The Lord is putting it on them, okay, to do that. But that's why you've had, the Department of Agriculture stock up on hollow tip bullets. The Department of, the Postal Service stock up on hollow tip bullets. Okay, they're all these different. The Social Security is stocked up on bullets. All these different governmental agencies bought tons of bullets and guns. The police are being militarized because they know what's about to come to this place, man. They know how much friction and how decimated America is going to get from the calamities that is going to happen, man. Once again, the order out of chaos, man. Pressure from above, pressure from below. All right. But hey, the main point is that people are waking up to this devil, waking up to his tactics, man. Get this too. Nahum chapter 3 verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, which is America, the harlot that sits upon the beast, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredom, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahawah of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show thy nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. All right, and hey, like I said, man, it's only here in America. These, like how the guy said, the people that are asleep, the people that don't really want to realize how wicked and how evil the American government is. It's only here that that people don't really see America for what it is, man. But all across the world, people are waking up. You just have over there in Athens, you had a burning of the American flag, man, because of what they did in Syria. Okay, so these nations are waking up to the abominations of America, man. The wickedness, the destruction, the violence that America puts throughout the earth, man. Okay, and like I said, the skirts is being lifted, and once these actual Babylonians, these Americans realize it, hey, it's gonna be too late for them. But what? It's still gonna cause a uprising, man. It's still gonna cause a very dissension between the American people and the American people against his government. Okay, which is going to usher in the martial law and all these other things, man. All right, but I'm gonna end that right there, Lord willing. This was edifying to the elect, man. Just keep paying attention. This is the talk, man. Once again, this is what's being talked about. All right, in the world, not peace and safety, not everything's gonna be okay. Talking about revolution. All right, revolution, civil war in America, man. All right, so with that, call Lord YAHAWASHI, and Shalom.